It's Monday, January 3rd, 2022. A lot to talk about today. Welcome to the Roaring 20s, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Roaring 2022s, I guess. Incredible, absolutely incredible what we are watching. Markets across the board up. You would think that there's no health crisis, there's no labor shortage crisis, there's no shipping crisis, there's no shortage crisis, there's no inflation crisis, because everything in these markets continues to go up. But I'm here to tell you, pain and very hard times are coming, and they're not very far away. You know, when you watch these fabricated, manipulated markets, it almost gets you to a point that you could laugh. Sometimes you could become angry because you know that it is so fake and so misleading. But we're all aware of what's happening in the world. We're aware of the global debt. And we're all aware, if you're watching this video, 90% of you are aware that we have no real markets. They're all manipulated. And they need you to buy into these markets. They need you to continue to collect dollar bills. They don't want you going to alternatives. They want you in the dollar. And very interesting article today on CNN. Turkey's inflation soars to 36%, setting a new record. It says here, currency collapse sends imports soaring. Think about that, 36%. Soon, this is going to head to the EU, and then it's going to be right here in America. And you're already witnessing the warning signs. So as we watch these manipulated markets, as we watch them crush gold, crush silver, even cryptos, everything just beaten down today, except the US dollar and the markets. We could be angry, we could be upset. I say be grateful for what's happening right now, because you can buy these manipulated assets, suppressed assets like gold and like silver on sale. And you should be buying them while they're on sale. That's not financial advice. That is what I'm doing. That's what my friends are doing. That's what a lot of people are doing. People you're watching on other channels, people that you know yourself. This is what you're doing. So maybe we shouldn't get upset with the manipulation. Maybe we should really embrace it and take advantage of the sales, because sooner or later, these assets are no longer going to be on sale. They're going to be unattainable. And there won't be enough fiat monopoly money to buy them. So buy them while they're on sale. Embrace it and take advantage of the sales, ladies and gentlemen. Look, I do think you have to have dollars. But at some point, the dollar is going to be worthless, and it's going to be a matter of holding real things like gold and silver. And again, not financial advice, but show me a time in history where gold and silver have lost their value and have been worth zero. Never. They have always retained value, typically always keeping up with inflation. I talked about yesterday, a 1964 quarter still buys a gallon of gas today. So it's another stark reminder of the importance of holding real things, not just digits on a screen, not just stocks, not bonds, not cryptos, real things that you can get to and touch. Article today, I'm sure most of you have seen this all over the news, $29,000 for an average used car. That's what it's going to cost the average American who is struggling just to put gas in their cars. Most people now, I was doing some shopping today. I was at a grocery store at Winco, one of the very, very large grocery stores, humongous place. And I've got to admit, for the first time, I noticed a lot of shortages where I had to pick up some Old Bay seasoning. There was only 2 little containers of Old Bays left. A lot of the frozen foods, empty, gone. I noticed that on a lot of the shelves that there would maybe only be 2 rows instead of 10 rows deep. So it was the first time I really noticed things at the Winco chain really scarce. And so that was really shocking. But there was a gas station right there in Indio, California, a Chevron, super unleaded, $5.59 today. And before I forget, there's a cold coffee that I buy at Winco. I think it's called Chobi. I'm not sure, but I think the name of it's Chobi. Last week I bought it. It's 32 ounces for $3.98. Today it was $4.21 in a week. $4.21, so 23 cents in 1 week it went up. And so everything continues to go up, ladies and gentlemen, but it was startling to see the shelves much leaner today than they were in past weeks. Daily Mail, average used car price rockets to $29,000. We just talked about that, but this is startling. 39% higher than a year ago. Again, who can afford to buy these cars, and how many people now are financing these things 7, 8 years? And as people's savings are being absolutely destroyed by inflation, the skyrocketing cost of fuel, almost $30,000 on average for a used car, up 39%. So you can check that out. Flights canceled, this on the hedge today, 800,000 without power as fast-moving winter storm pounds mid-Atlantic. So thousands of flights today canceled on top of thousands that have been canceled over the past few days, and 800,000 people right here in America without power. The storm pounded the southeast and mid-Atlantic, resulting in 8,000 customers without power. The first world, ladies and gentlemen, can become the third world overnight. And I hope that most of these 800,000 people have put food and water away, extra warm clothes, things like that. Pharmaceuticals, dog food, cat food. You know, people always think it can never happen to them. It happens to somebody else. They'll never be the news. These people now are the news. And you know as well as I do, most of these people were probably unprepared for a massive power outage. Again, the first world can become the third world literally overnight. And that's exactly what just happened here in the Mid-Atlantic and Southeast. So again, another stark reminder of why we must continue to prepare, put food and water away, and all the essentials that we need. I want to switch gears real quick here, and I want to share an article with you that my friend Jason sent me last night. And I read this, and I was in shock at how bad things really are. They're worse than I thought. We've talked about this numerous times, but the title here is 86% of restaurants and bars waiting for this health crisis relief could close. Our IRC says, and I'm reading this last night, and I'm just in disbelief of how bad things really are. Where is all the money going? Is anybody getting any help while businesses continue to be decimated? The Independent Restaurant Coalition penned an open letter to Congress earlier this month. The letter was signed by more than 3,300 restaurants and bars from all 50 states. In addition, more than 5,000 people from the restaurant and bar community, including supplies, signed the letter. The coalition is asking Congress to replenish the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, which provided $28.6 billion in relief for more than 100,000 restaurants. However, the IRC said 177,000 applicants are still waiting for funding. This is unbelievable. It's unacceptable. And what is going on? Why can these businesses not get funding? What is the holdup? Many of these bars and restaurants are sitting on 21 months of debt and cannot take another revenue hit. 21 21 months. So, when I film these malls and I film these shopping areas, I've asked this question many times. How long have these stores not been paying rent? Who's paying, who's not? How many rent payments have they missed? How many lease payments have they missed? Well, right here, it says 21 months. How in the world are things going to continue at this rate without imploding? I mean, ask yourself that. I mean, 2 and 2 equals 4, right, ladies and gentlemen? This is completely unacceptable. It's literally criminal what's going on. If you're relying on the government, ladies and gentlemen, to come and save you, you're going to be in very, very big trouble. I mean, just read this article. The wealthiest, most advanced nation on planet Earth, right? And we are leaving these businesses out to hang. The worst of this collapse is yet to come. And people are going to need a lot of help. And already they're not getting help. Small, medium businesses not getting help. The average person is in very, very big trouble. And right here, this is another reminder that you're not going to get any help. Everyone's going to need help, and there will be no help. You are going to be on your own, ladies and gentlemen, and this is why I just every day make these videos to remind all of you, to wake people up, to re-emphasize that we must continue to stay on course, preparing. Look, I pray nothing bad happens, but we all know that it's too late. This thing has already begun. The tiger is out of the cage, and there's going to be a lot of destruction. You are on your own. This is why I say be your own central bank. This is why I say bet against the debt. This is why I say have some reserve currency put away, have hard tangible assets, have essentials and emergency things put away, because you're going to be on your own. Look at what's going on right now. 21 months of debt. Many of these businesses begging for help, and they've been left out to dry. Sean Kennedy, Executive Vice President for Public Policy at the National Restaurant Association, said the industry needs at least $40 billion to fund the nearly 200,000 applicants who didn't receive grants. How long or how much longer are these bars and restaurants going to exist before they cease to exist? So on top of this, restaurant owners are dealing with more trouble, labor shortages. They're dealing with skyrocketing food costs, and they're dealing with this epidemic of crime hitting these cities, where people are scared to go out. This health crisis, people are scared to go out. The crime crisis, people are scared to go out. In 2021, restaurant sales were down $100 billion from 2019. And really, it's even worse than that, because people are paying more for the items on those menus, pushing the sales up, but they're getting less, right? Because those crab legs are now $90 a pound, not $50. So when people order a steak, the steak is so much more expensive. So it's pushed the sales numbers up, but that's because the food cost is so high. But yet we're still down $100 billion from 2019. Very, very scary. I want to share this last article with you. And if you get a chance, please check it out. It's on The Hedge. The coming retirement crisis will affect everyone. And this was really an eye-opener. It's scary. It should concern you. And again, it should tell you that you will be on your own, not to rely on the system. In fact, you should be getting out of the system. Nobody's coming to help you. The system is going to be in massive trouble. The system is not even going to be able to help itself. And the system has caused this disaster. So don't rely on the system to save you. Far too many promises have been made, and the demographics we face do not bode well for a bright future, it says. The answer isn't have more children or let more people, into the country for jobs. They can never pay enough into the system to fulfill the promises that have been made. The competition for programs from the government to support the needs of different generations is about to explode as young and old Americans reach out for help. We're going to see so many people in need of help. And this is why I say you're going to get the knock at the door. Friends, family members that are going to need help. Didn't believe what you were saying a couple years ago. Didn't believe that this could happen. There were the people that always said, don't be paranoid. You don't know what you're talking about. You're negative. That could never happen. Now it's all happening. And you're going to know people who lose it all, who are going to become homeless. The problems stem from a slew of bad policies, stupidity, corruption, and the unwillingness to accept the reality you can postpone a reckoning for only so long. Investors and the public at large suffer from a recency bias of hope that tends to blind them from unpleasant long-term realities. So many people blinded to reality. This is why so many people are going to absolutely lose it all in these markets, because they believe that they can never fail. They believe they're too big, too strong. The Fed will come and save them. They really believe that the markets are untouchable, and they're going to learn a very critical lesson. A couple notes here. Older consumers tend to downsize and spend less. The boom-bust business cycle has been largely interrupted by surging government spending. Stock buybacks continue to set new records and drive markets higher. All an illusion. It's all fake, all artificial. The top 1% own more than 90% of America's wealth. They own collectively over $43 trillion of wealth. States like Illinois have a $530 billion shortfall in retirement debts. But yet the financial giants and the television have created this myth that everyone in America is making money. Just invest in your 401k. Isn't that funny? Just invest in your 401k. Buy more stocks, buy more bonds, buy more houses. Everything's going to be fine. Remember, all the risk falls on you. When you buy into that 401k, that money market, that pension, if it goes under, you go under. And they never tell you that. And add insult to injury, you will find high fees buried under a slew of different names. A big problem looms for Americans that continue to believe disaster is something that hits other people. Yeah, it's always the other guy. You'll never lose your job. Only your neighbor will. Bad things won't happen to you. That only happens to people that I watch on the news. My 401k will be there when I need it. My pension will be there when I retire. Ladies and gentlemen, we really need to look at history. Whether you have invested in a pension plan or a 401k, prior economic crises show there is no guarantee that you will ever see your money ever again. If you do, will it retain its buying power? Risk is not only in stocks, but also in bonds. If rates go up, they get crushed. Wow, look at what happened to the 10-year today. The ramifications of a retirement crisis will affect everyone. When older people lose their savings or watch their wealth fall, they have little time to earn more. They have very little time or no time at all to recover. They cut back just to survive. Maybe it's time to get away from paper and promises, ladies and gentlemen. Maybe it is time to really start getting out of the system. Maybe it is time to start getting away from cash and maybe into ounces. And getting away from the promises that these politicians make, the promises that these people on television wearing their $2,000 suits, who are just puppets for corporate America. Maybe it's time to really be a self-sufficient human being, not relying on your 401k or pension, because it's not a guarantee. The only thing that is a guarantee is what you're holding and what you can get to, and it better be real money. And I think this is why gold is so important. And it's not just gold. You better have things to barter with. I think silver is good because it's going to go along for the ride with gold? Why are central banks stockpiling so much gold? Why are so many countries stockpiling gold? What is going on? We see, countries stockpiling food. Why? So why aren't you stockpiling some food? Why aren't you stockpiling some gold, some silver, and other essentials? Ask yourself, what if your pension isn't there when you need it? What would you do? What will you have to fall back on? I think this is why you must start thinking like a central bank. Because if the pension isn't there, wouldn't it be nice to know that you have a pile of gold or a pile of silver that is always going to have value, always going to be worth something? And again, as I close, be your own asset. Get yourself in better physical shape right now. Walk closer to God. Look, none of us are perfect. I'm certainly not perfect. I'm no angel. But now is a time to really be working on that, to become a better person, to get closer to God, to be more prepared. These are all things we can start doing right now today. Time is running out, ladies and gentlemen. And one day I'm going to be making videos about what just happened and the damage that has been done. And it is going to be much worse than what I'm talking about right now. These are the good times. And these are the times we need to be getting ready, a time of preparation during these times while they're still good. Even though it is getting very concerning, we're going to look back and think these were the good times. And many people look back and go, why didn't I listen? Why didn't I wake up? Why didn't I see the warning signs? Why didn't I get out of the system? Why didn't I get out of these markets? Why and how was I duped? And the only person you're going to be able to blame is yourself.